Friends, I am Dr. Anita Tavar. Today we are going to discuss about that how the residential status of an individual is going to be determined. And this is very important topic in aspect of determining the taxes of an individual. If I talk about the residential status of an individual, so it is going to be defined under Income Tax Act 1961 under section 6. And moreover, if I talk about the residential status, so you see, when we are going to calculate the tax, so we are not going to calculate the tax on the basis of a citizenship of a citizenship. Okay, it is going to be determined on the basis of the residential status of an individual. This must be clear that residential status is different from the citizenship. Okay, now if an individual that is of domicile of like India or of a particular state, so if that individual maybe living outside India for more than 6 months, outside India he is living and earning income over there. Okay, so when we are going to calculate the taxes of that individual, so that is not going to determine that that individual is a citizen of India, so we are going to calculate. No, we are going to calculate the tax on the basis of that how much time he is going to spend in India or further outside India. So that depend upon the residential status of an individual. Understand one thing, that residential status of an individual is nothing to do with the nationality or domicile of a person. An Indian who is a citizen of India can be a non-resident for the income tax purpose, where an American who is a citizen of America can be a resident of India for income tax purpose. So you understand this, the tax implication varies because of the residential status of an individual. Tell you what are the different types of the residential status of an individual or the firm or the company. Okay, so the types of residential status can be categorized into two categories, for individual and Hindu undivided family, or you can say as it is HUF. Or second one category, that is for the firm, company or association of person, or BOIs, local authority, other artificial judicial persons. So if I talk about the first category, so that will be further categorized into ordinary resident, not ordinary resident and non-resident. And if I talk about for the firm and companies, it is going to be categorized into two categories, that is resident and non-resident. So here I am going to tell you that how we are going to determine the residential status of an individual. So residential status of an individual, first thing you understand this is going to be determined under section 6 of Income Tax Act 1961. Fine. So if we are going to go for the categorization of this one, so first is resident. Who could be the resident? Okay, so that will be defined under section 6 subsection 1 of Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, now if I talk about the non-resident, so that will be come or define under section 2 subsection 30 of Income Tax Act 1961. This is the non-resident. But if we talk about the resident, that comes under section 6 of subsection 1. So it is going to categorize into two further categories, that is ordinary resident and not ordinary resident. Now I am going to tell you what is ordinary resident and not ordinary resident. I am going to tell you who are ordinary resident. Ordinary resident is that resident, you can say, that was in India for a period or periods totaling in all to 182 days or more during relevant previous year. Or second condition is what? He was in India for a period or periods totaling in all to 60 days or more during relevant previous year, and 365 days or more during 4 previous year preceding the relevant previous year. I hope you understand what is previous year. Previous year is that year that, like, just suppose if I am going to say the current year is 2021. So previous year is 1920. And second condition is there, must be resident of India by fulfilling at least one of two above mentioned tests in at least 2 out of 10 previous year preceding the relevant previous year, and Moreover, you can say it must stayed in India for 730 days or more during 7 previous year preceding the relevant previous year. Now, if I talk about the resident but not ordinary resident, then what will be the condition? He was in India for a period or periods totaling in all of 182 days or more relevant previous year. Second, you can say he was in India for a period or periods totaling in all out to 60 days or more during relevant previous years and 365 days or more during 4 previous years preceding the relevant previous year. And third condition, you can say was known resident in India in 9 or 10 previous years out of 10 previous year preceding the relevant previous year. Or you can say was in India for less than 730 days during the previous year preceding the relevant previous year. So if you see the difference between ordinary resident and this one not ordinary resident, so you will find that ordinary resident, there is a condition that should be leave for 730 days or more during the 7 previous year. But if you see the resident but not ordinary resident, that was in India for less than 730 days and during the 7 previous year preceding the relevant previous year. Okay, I hope you clear with this. Can be the known resident of India. So you understand this. Those who are not satisfying the condition of ordinary resident or resident but not ordinary resident, so it will come in the category of non-resident. Or either you can say that is not satisfying the section 6 subsection 1 and there are more subsections over there, section A, subsection A and subsection B. If they are not going to satisfy that, and moreover those who are non-resident, they have to follow the section 2 subsection 30 of the Income Tax Act 1961. And moreover you can say an assessee who does not fulfill any of the two conditions given in section 6 subsection 1 subsection A or B would be regarded as non-resident assessee during the relevant previous year for all the purpose of this act. Thank you everyone.